baby, guess what? We're back.
We're back.
All right, welcome to another edition of Melanated Thought, where we talk about things that affect the black community and beyond. I am Mr. Reggio.
And I am Mrs. Mimi the Lady Parker.
And, oh, yes, she is. Yes, she is. And what a lovely, lovely, lovely lady she is.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, now my sound effects ain't working. What the hell?
Bomb chicka wow wow.
There we go. There we go. Okay, people. Today's podcast is going to be about something that my brother-in-law came up with. Which you know him very well, don't you, babe?
Shout out to my big brother Michael Scott.
Yeah. He came up with this question. He asked us about the reparations questions and would we ever get reparations. And we had a very long discussion about that. So shout out to Mike about this particular question, because as of right now, with the way things are going, being that we got more and more black people that are actually on code for us to get reparations and not backing down off of it, there's a really, really good chance that we might get it. Might not be now, might be 20 years down the line, but hey.
Well, so far it's been 157 years.
Yeah, exactly. What's another few years?
Slavery stopped in what, 1865?
Something like that.
And we're in 2022?
Yeah.
That's 1, 2, 2, carry the one. It's 157 years.
Oh, yeah.
157 years.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
maybe they're going to round it out. Maybe we're going to get it 160 years.
Maybe so. Maybe so. Maybe so. But like I said, the talks are in the works, and there's a good possibility you might get them. So that's why I call this show the Reparations Question. Cut the check, part 1. Now, what I mean by cut that check? Well, the answer is simple. Cut that damn check. You know, there's no ifs, ands, buts, and maybe it's about that one. Would you agree, babe?
Absolutely. But we'll talk about it because I have some questions about that.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's all right. Let's get the music crack-a-lacking. So, but anyway, like I said, my brother-in-law came up with this question. It's a very good question.
Absolutely. I don't think no matter what we come up with, what we say, can't get it done in one day. That's a question that's been going on for many, many years.
Oh, no, it's not going to happen in one day. And you got people out there that's going to question who gets the reparations.
That was my question later on the show. Who they going to say can get it? Who can get it?
Right.
Because if you think about it, Germany is still paying for the Holocaust to this day.
Oh, yeah.
I think was it Japan when they was bombed?
Yeah, we're still paying for that.
USA took care of that.
Yeah.
So, what's taking ours so long?
Exactly.
What's taking so long?
That's a really good question. I'm glad you brought those points up as well.
Those some of the questions I'm going to ask later on the show.
Oh, yeah, definitely ask.
Everybody else get theirs by the blink of an eye, but with ours, we got that snail crawl.
No, we got to get a study and all kinds of stuff to see if we need reparations. And then once they figure out that we actually need reparations, they want to know what form of reparations are we allowed to have.
You know, when I was doing my research on here, there's a lot of form of reparations they have come up with. Did you know one of them, they said they just want to apologize? They don't think financial should be an issue. If they just say they're sorry, yeah. If they just apologize, they feel like that's a form of reparation.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Let's just take it out of the reparations question just for a second before we actually get into the show, because we got a lot to cover. So let's just say that, hypothetically speaking, you don't know me from Adam's dog. I come up and I just, for some dumbass reason, gouge your eyeball out. Just for no reason. Just because I want to gouge your eyeball out. Is I'm sorry going to get your eyeball back?
No.
Would you feel better if I told you I was sorry?
Yeah, but when I also cut that check.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point. That's what I'm getting at.
And I remember, it's like all of a sudden, it's like people, I'm like, damn, everybody do a lawsuit in a minute.
Yeah.
I see why. If you gonna harm me, I'm gonna hurt you.
Right.
Where it hurts the most.
In the pocket.
That's in that pocket.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. So,
Yeah.
but anyway.
I mean, say this one thing, then we can move on.
Okay.
Back in the day, an apology was a big thing.
Yeah, back then.
But now, okay, you can say you're sorry, but then what? Now
yeah,
what?
after that, yeah.
Yeah.
What I mean,
So yeah, things have changed over the year. Apology would have been like, oh, she apologized. Oh, that was so good of her. Wow.
Well, see, here's the
and
thing.
it was done.
And here's the thing about apologies, though. Is it sincere? That's
True.
the question. Do you actually mean that apology?
Well.
And 9 times out of 10, people really don't. They just do it just to save face. You and me both know that. But anyway, we'll get into that later. How was your week, babe?
End of April, month end. Crazy, but
Of course.
got through it. Praise God. Thank you, Jesus.
Yes, indeed.
Shout out to today. Today is May 1st.
Yeah, buddy.
5th month of the year. Start of spring.
The start of...
Sneezing season.
And she has been sneezing.
But other than that, it was a week, and I'm glad I made it through it.
Oh, yeah.
How was yours?
Busy as hell. Because, we got people coming back to the office. And, us network admins and network engineers, we get no rest.
Yeah, I had a little attitude Saturday because he had to go to work Saturday. I thought we were going to spend a day together. I mean, at least all day, but he went in for a couple of hours. I was like, dang, on a Saturday?
Yep.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, that's busy.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. So I guess now we can get into the
books of the day.
Yeah, man. Let me get Malcolm up here. Books every black person should read at least once in their lifetime. And I'm going to go ahead and get into it because these books are books that I've read over the years. And I think they're very pivotal to what we're talking about today. Now, 2 of them are kind of current, but 2 of them are kind of current. So yeah, we'll get into them a little bit later on. First book I have is by one of my people that I idolize. His name is Dr. Claude Anderson. It's called Black Labor, White Wealth. You'll see it's kind of a delay here, but you'll see it pop up on the screen. But the search for power and economic justice. And Dr. Claude Anderson is a world-renowned historian on foundational Black American culture and of the like. And he definitely digs in deep about this particular subject, about how Black people. And he's been championing the whole reparations thing for the longest time.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's one of the people that came up to Jimmy Carter back in the day and asked him, said, hey, let's talk about this right here. It never happened, but, go figure. So, but anyway, that's the first book that I have. And here's another book by the same author called Powernomics, the National Plan to Empower Black America. This book gets deeper into detail about what Black Labor, White Wealth was talking about. It gives people really literally an economic plan on how we as foundational Black Americans can get out here and build our wealth and build generational wealth on top of that.
Right.
So that's a really good book.
Okay.
Go out and get those 2 books, people. Powernomics and Black Labor, White Wealth. And I have another book by Mr. Charles Blow called The Devil You Know. It's a Black Power Manifesto. It pretty much talks about, it's pretty much an empowering book. Very good book. This book is a recent book. One of the recent books I was talking about. This book came out, I want to say 2012, 2013, somewhere along in there. And probably, no, I take that back. It was more recent than that. It came out about 2015, 2016. So, but yeah, this book is definitely a good read. Definitely get this one, y'all. If you don't already have it in your library, get it, read it. Hey, check it out. And this one is the last one I have. Foundation Black American Race Beta by Mr. Tariq Nasheed. And he actually talks about how and he's been championing reparations himself. So definitely get this book. It's a really good read. I'm actually finished reading. I just finished reading this book because I had been reading it off and on. And I just recently finished reading this book. But it's a good read. It's a really good read. And that's all I have for the books. And now let's get on to my favorite section, the one that my wife came up with. Bold words from a Black woman.
Yes.
And she has a good one today, y'all. She has a good one today from one of the ancestors. I'm gonna go ahead and put it up there. I'm not even gonna say her name because unless you've been living under a rock, you should know who this woman is. Just by looking at her face. Don't worry, it'll pop up. There she go. Beautiful as ever. inside and
I
out.
call her a quiet storm.
Yes, indeed. That's exactly what she
was
is.
so profound and
Oh,
didn't
my
hardly
God.
say anything.
Oh my God, she stood by her man till the end,
To the
literally.
very end.
Literally.
Okay, her quote. It doesn't matter how strong your opinions are. If you don't use your power for positive change, you are indeed part of the problem.
Man, that's
Miss
strong right
Coretta
there.
Scott King.
That's strong right there.
It's not really a mantra, but when I go in to set myself in to do anything,
Right.
work, professional, goofing around, whatever,
Yeah.
I try to give it my all.
Right.
You know,
As you should.
yeah, I might kid around and be like, well, you know, so. But if I haven't given it a try myself to see if it's going to work, I shouldn't be sitting up and complaining. Why sit up and complain and talk negative about anything that's going on if you have not tried to fix it, incorporate it, maintain it, whatever word you want to see or say to help it along? To me, don't say nothing. If you're not trying to help out, don't say nothing.
Oh, that's paraphrasing it right there. If you're not going to be part of the solution, shut your ass up
Don't
and sit
say
down
nothing.
and don't be a part of the problem.
So I thought
I
this
love
was
that.
very, very profound, especially
love
with the culture we're in now, and especially with the topic we're talking about today with reparations. It's like
Yes.
we've been promising this for so long,
Yes.
and they talk about it for a while, then it gets swept under the rug. Talk about it for a while, and it only comes out when something or another organization gets something that we have been promised for many, many years.
Ooh, say that again, baby.
You know, it's like we talk about reparations, it gets sweeping. Okay, we're gonna do. Oh yeah, we're gonna get this study going
Yeah.
and see what we can do to get reparations going. Then
Yeah.
it just kind of dies down and gets swept on the rug. Okay, an old Chinese man get hit in the head. Okay, now we need reparations again. We go headstrong, then it dies down. The LBQT alphabet
debate.
people. They get all kind of rights, and we start talking about reparations again. So it's like it get hot, and then it get cold and get swept under the rug. So
Well, see, what happens is this right here, and you notice this yourself, and you hit the nail on the head. What happens is once another group gets whatever they're going to get, black people are like, hey, what about us?
right, and it should be what about us every day, all day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, but anyway, that's a really bold quote by Sister King, and I love that.
Yes, it is.
So let's get into these current events. We got some doozies.
I want to start with one because it's from Oklahoma.
Oh, man.
Uh-huh.
My home state. We're going there
And
next
it's,
weekend.
yeah. And I'm just going to read the title. Oklahoma bill that could require school counselors to out students' advances.
What?
Yeah, this is a bill that has been put into formation in the anti-LGBTQ bill that politicians are going crazy behind, because it states that if a student goes to like a counselor or go to the library to check out a book or anything like that, and another teacher finds out, they can pretty much get sued, which I'm like, I thought that's one of the reasons why we have school counselors and nurses and advisors, so that teacher can come and the student can come and express interest in their sexuality or questions about their sexual orientations or gender identity or anything like that. So why would they make a bill to out them? I don't get that.
That's a good question. That's a really good question. I mean, that sounds to me like some Gestapo type tactics. I mean, you know, that sounds like fascism, in my opinion.
For instance, like if I come to you, I say, "Hey, Mr. Parker, how you doing? And you're my advisor,
Right.
And I kind of be like, "Mr. Parker, can I talk to you for a minute? For a couple of months now, I've been questioning my identity,
Right.
And I was just wondering, is there anything or any programs you know of, any literature you can give me to read? And if you hand me anything, and if someone finds out about that." That person that saw it as like a teacher, cafeteria worker, whoever,
Right.
can reach out to your parent and tell your parent.
Right.
That's unbelievable.
That's not fair. That's not fair at all. I mean, you know, if
Why would a bill like that need to be necessary? First of all, why is it necessary for a bill like that to be produced? Let's start there.
it's not necessary,
Yeah.
it's completely unnecessary.
And then the second bill that Oklahoma is entertaining is, like I said, the librarians. Like, if the the librarians are getting criticized over books about LGBTQ. So if they haven't scald that whole library and remove anything that relates to anything as far as the alphabet people, that library could be held accountable. So I guess accountability means fine, fired, etc., which I don't think is fair either, because I didn't even know the Toni Morrison books was that awful, and now they're pulling all her books off the shelves. I know that some of her books was dealing with identity, but I don't think it was just that what's the word I'm looking for?
Prevalent.
No, disgusting.
Oh, okay.
That they would need to pull it off the library shelves.
Right.
And it's been on the shelves for many years when I was in school, and I'm old as dirt. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like I don't know. Like I said last week, I know things have to evolve. Things are getting revamped, whatever.
Yeah.
But some of the things they revamping, just if it's not broke, why fix it? I don't know. This to me, this is an awful bill that Oklahoma is entertaining.
Well, you know, I'm from Oklahoma, and I'll be the first to tell anybody, man, they're always a day late and a dollar short when it comes to pretty much any kind of policy that concerns that something of that nature. Mm-hmm. So
that's crazy.
There's that.
Moving on.
Moving right along.
Quote, he was only defending himself, unquote. A video captures black students slapping a classmate who allegedly called him a racial slur. Student protests repeatedly forced school to also discipline white peer. Damn. Right. That's a damn moment. And also like, oh, okay. A male student was suspended after he hit a female student. That's where I had a problem with it first before I read the full story.
Right.
I like, he shouldn't have put his hands on her. But for calling him a racial derogatory name. Right. After that fact, black students got together and organized a protest. I'm like, interesting. Come to find out, the girl who slapped the black male, the male was black, the female was white, and she called him N-word.
Right.
So after the protest, it became apparent that they both need to be discipline. So that's good, because normally now the black students the only one who would get punished is the one who did the actual slapping, right, regardless of race or whatever. But this time they did both, which I'm thinking is very, very on code.
I agree with you on that, because if you're gonna discipline one, I mean, he didn't just slap her just out of pure malice. No. There's a reason why he slapped the taste out of her mouth.
Yeah, because you're gonna learn to keep that name. I don't think that's my name. Call me by my name.
Exactly. That's my whole point right there.
But at first, though, they kicked him out and didn't do nothing to her until the protest took place and it was raised in the student council. Why would he get punished and not her? She's the one who was the aggressor. Even if it wasn't physical, it was verbal. And everybody knows that an N-word is a very, very harsh word to use. And I've seen people get knocked out over it.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
Yeah, so I hate that this is in school like this. But in the words of the great Will Smith, keep that word out your mouth.
Come on now.
Y'all throwing around like it's saying hello these days. You have to learn.
I keep telling people. I keep telling people. That's what I keep saying, man. You're going to keep on saying that. That word is so prevalent now and so freely said that people are just saying it just whenever they want to now.
I saw an episode. It's this black comedian called Miss Pat, and she has a show on BET. And that was an episode with her son. Like he hang around two white guys. Well, one was white, one was Mexican. Right. And they were just like it wasn't nothing. She was talking about, wait a minute, you gonna let them sit there and call you that? And he was like, it's not a product. Her son didn't see the relevance of it. Right. And then the dad got offended, and he kind of explained to him, son, he was in the military. Right. And he was saying him and his military friends, they'll say it toward each other. Yeah. But he said when he got back to the barrack and his bunkmate said he did not want to share a room with an N-word. Right. He said that it made him look at it as a whole different light. Yeah. And that's why he feel like that it's not a word to be used by no one at any time. I agree. So I thought that show was very profound. Very profound.
Well, you know how I feel about that word.
Oh yeah.
You know how I feel about it.
It's taking me some time. Like I said, I'm not gonna sit up here and play Miss Goody Two Shoes and be a hypocrite. It's taking me some time because I still slip up sometimes.
Yeah, she does.
But I see some ignorant stuff. But
I'll be the first to tell anybody, if I see some stupid stuff that black people are doing, I'll say the word.
Right.
You know, you're a witness to that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit up here and lie and say that I don't. But for the most part, in casual conversation, no, I don't do that.
Right.
That's not, because I think that word needs to be completely eradicated from the English language. But that's just my personal opinion.
Right.
And we talked about this on a previous show about that particular word. And I've heard people say dumb stuff trying to justify using that word. And those excuses are just that. They're bullshit excuses.
Yep.
I mean, I've heard somebody say overuse of the word kills the meaning. See, you don't want to kill the meaning, you want to kill the word. And the best way to kill the word is by what? Not saying it.
Not saying it, yeah.
How do you kill a language? Stop speaking it. How do you kill a word? Stop saying it.
You know, it's kind of funny. It always bring me back to that Jesse Jackson story.
Right.
Well, he's talking, we need to take it out the English language. Need to take it out the dictionary. People need to start, they call him on the mic. That nigga over there talking about Barack Obama.
Yep.
Talking about Barack Obama. Like I said, he could have had a moment like I did. He could have just slipped up and said it, even though in his spirit he think it should be abolished or whatever.
Right.
But he slipped up and said about the first black president. And it went around the world.
It went all the way. It went global.
Yeah.
Within a matter of seconds.
Hopefully this young lady have learned her lesson, and I hated it had to come to this and she got physically attacked, but hopefully she learned that, okay, maybe I don't need to use that word.
I promise you, she's going to remember that for the rest of her natural born life.
Yeah.
I promise you she will.
I hope so.
Because somebody's going to remind her of it.
But some of these kids, I don't think they get the ramification. Like I said, they hear it in rap lyrics.
Yeah.
They use it with their fellow peers using it, walking up and down the hall.
And see, that's their excuse for using it. That's their excuse for using it. It's in rap lyrics. Yes, so.
I heard Jamal call Malcolm that the other day.
Exactly.
But Jamal and Malcolm probably be the same shade of color.
Right.
I mean, they don't make it right either.
That's not an excuse either. But
Yeah.
my whole point is, I mean, you keep saying you hear it in rap lyrics, but let me ask you this: would you, just because you heard some of the rap lyrics, would you go up and call your mama a bitch? Think about it.
I don't think I can. No.
Exactly my point.
No.
That's my whole point.
No.
You wouldn't do that. So just because you heard it in a rap song don't mean nothing. Just
Right.
you ain't got to say it.
Right. Well, hopefully this get revolved and he gets leniency and she learned a lesson from it.
I hope so. All right, what you got?
By any means, Emmett Till's family calls on authority to use the 1955 kidnapping warrant to apprehend woman who wrongly accused the Chicago teen. Many, I'm sure you are aware, that Carolyn Bryant Donham had accused Emmett Till of whistling at her or flirting with her back in the 50s. And from that incident, which we all know now that she lied.
Sparked the civil rights movement.
Right. And her husband and her brother-in-law tortured this child. Wasn't a grown man. He was a child.
14 years old.
14 years old. And brutally, physically
I'm not going to even say
tore him up.
I'm not going to even say what they did to this boy.
No, I'm not. No.
I'm not going to say that because it's so brutal.
It was horrific.
I mean, it's like something that you see in a horror movie.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah.
And these grown men did this to this 15-year-old child. But here's a really sad part about it. Once you actually read that story, it was two black men
They helped him.
that helped him.
Yeah.
Now, again, I don't really like to say this word, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. Them two niggas need to be killed too.
What?
You heard what I said?
I have no rebuttal. Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's
like that old saying say, sometimes it be your own kind. Yeah.
And that's sad right there. Why would they even call themselves men and they doing it to somebody that looks like them?
Right. And it never was explained why they helped, but I don't know if
they shouldn't have helped at all. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is.
They was going to get whipped or beat up and said, I don't know why they helped.
That's what I'm telling, man. But but I agree. I mean, because she's what, 88 years old now?
Yeah, I think she's pushing 90.
Yeah.
So what do you think should happen to her? Do you think she should be held accountable?
I think she should be held accountable, yes.
I don't know why I thought she was dead. I thought on her deathbed she said that it was a lie, but this woman is still living.
She is still very much alive.
She's 88 years old.
88 years old. And all that happened to a boy that she lied and said Wilson to her. I'm sorry. If I see a sister with that big brown thing in my face and see some flat booty ass white woman, I'm gonna whistle at the sister. But that's just me.
And the ramifications that you receive, take it with a grain of salt. Because some women will, and some people like, what you do? You know, some people don't. Some women don't like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't whistle at a woman anyway. You know me. I'm not that kind of a person.
So if Angela Bassett walk in this door, right?
Story
Exactly. Exactly. Keep it 100.
There are exceptions to every rule.
Right.
There are exceptions to every rule. So, you know, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Moving on. But no, seriously, I hope they his family do get because they did, you know, earlier this year or last year, it's missing my brain, please don't hold it against me,
right.
But they did pass the anti-lynching bill. Last month.
I think it's too little too late for that, but you know, but still
I hope they do find the justice that they need, because this lady do need to be held accountable for this.
I agree with you on that.
Because she even tried to recant her story. So recant mean lie to me.
That's exactly what it means.
You know, so she lied. So hopefully his family will get the justice that he needs. Alrighty, next story.
All right.
2 eyewitnesses recanted testimony that led to a life sentence for a Missouri man. Damn. Yeah. After 18 years in prison, his case has been dismissed because of misuse of information by an informant.
What?
Every week when we do this show, is some police officer karma coming to bite them in the balls so hard. And it just makes me wonder, how long did they think that they can get away with it?
Now, this is very unlike my wife. She went right past the ass and went straight to the
just go
balls.
straight to the balls, because you was already an asshole when you didn't do your job. 'Cause when you do stuff like this, you're not doing your job.
Right.
So now it's like karma is kicking you in the nuts. Excuse me, but it is. And now, here we are.
Yep.
So you gonna talk to an informant.
Right.
The informant gave you bogus information, and you still arrested. This man was in jail for 18 years.
18 years, man.
18
For something he
years.
didn't even do.
Nothing he didn't do. And they showed that there was no physical, forensic, logical reason of why this man should have been arrested.
Exactly.
But he was.
Man.
You know, I'm gonna go ahead and say it because it popped up in my spirit.
Come on, say it.
There probably won't be any reparations, because after all these states pay all this money back for all these bogus lawsuits,
They're gonna be broke.
not bogus lawsuits. Well, bogus lawsuits where these people have to come back and get paid for being in jail, or family members get paid because their family member was killed excessively by the police department.
Right.
There probably gonna be no money left for reparations.
Probably so. I mean, you know.
Because they have paid out a lot of money over stupid incidents like this.
Right.
This is
I agree.
18 years. Can you imagine?
Man, I can't even fathom that. I mean, that's a long. 18 minutes is too long to be sitting in somebody's jail cell for something you didn't do.
And he said he never gave up. He said I never gave. He said because I knew I was innocent.
And that's the way you should be, brother. I mean, I applaud you. Let me go ahead and give you some claps. You know, for not giving up and holding true to your convictions, brother. I'm with you on that.
Wow. Well, kudos to him. I hope he gets out. Some of his family is still living, so hopefully his parents are still living. He can build and spend time with them.
Yep.
And get back to acclimated with society. I know
I hope
18
so,
years
man.
ago, so much has changed.
Man, a whole lot has changed.
So he's probably looking at stuff like, what is that? What is that? So
exactly.
it'll probably be fascinating for him, but just to be mentally institutionalized for that many years, wow.
Yep.
Over something you didn't have nothing to
Had
do
nothing
with.
to do with it whatsoever.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part.
So good luck with him. Now, this story right here is, I did an Oklahoma story. So now we got to do a Texas story. We're from Texas.
Uh-oh.
Quote, they retaliated against you. A Texas man lawsuit alleges supervisor allowed only white employees to carry firearms while fostering a racially hostile workplace. Damn. After he complained numerous times, he was fired.
What?
Yeah. The Texas man, Christopher Vickers, supervisor worked at a company called Bison Specialty Services, which is a manufacturing company. And he just said coming to work every day was just like a hostile place. This man would use racial words toward other black people on a regular, just like saying hello. And he would complain about, this is down in Beaumont, Texas. Like I said, it was in Texas. It was in Beaumont, Texas. And this is like an industrial maintenance company. And he said coming to work was hell. He said walking into the environment every day to earn a living was complete hell. I didn't know how I was going to be. I had to put on a body of armor just to protect myself so I wouldn't do nothing wrong or say anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd be able to hold my tongue.
No, you wouldn't.
Every day?
Nah.
Every single day. And I'm gonna read some of the examples he said that his supervisor would do. He said he often described black people as, quote, lazy, blue, BLUE, gum, N-words. I don't think my gums are blue. Are yours?
No, mine are pink.
Yeah, I think mine are pink. So I'm like, okay. And he also used the N-word to describe other black people. And he sent out this email once of a black man dancing on the freeway to songs of a lyric that says "Go back to Africa."
Oh, Lord.
I don't understand that one. But this is the one that got me. He sent out an email right after George Floyd died. It was a black man he was strapped down to a mouse trap. You know how a mouse trap, one end is where the mouse get trapped with the long part. So the black man was laying there and laying on a piece of cheese. And the part that got him caught was a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And under there, on that meme that he posted, the words "I can't breathe" was on there. Insensitive, no empathy. I don't even get it. I mean, that's like another form of racism to me. It's
this is in your face racism.
Blatant.
This is blatant in your face racism. And to be completely honest with you, me personally, I'd rather have my racism right in your face so that way I can deal with that person.
Me too.
Okay? But here's the thing. In the workplace, of all places.
I can even imagine.
Now, I would have walked out.
Yeah, because he worked there 2.5 years. So you said this is every day. It's like... But then there's another part to the story. Mr. Vickers and his family contacted COVID-19. Mind you, in between those 2.5 years, he would file complaints to his supervisors, managers, HR, and everything. One of the HR managers told them there's nothing they can do. Right. That part I don't understand. Right. Why not?
Yeah, they could have done something.
Unless he was owner's nephew. You know, we've seen that happen before.
Oh yeah, nepotism. Right.
But in between that time, they wanted him to come to work when he had COVID. And he explained to them, I'm just going to follow the guidelines of the CDC. And he felt like by him not coming to work with COVID, also making the complaints, they fired him, which is disgusting.
They fired him because he was raising a ruckus.
Right.
That's the only reason why they fired him. It's kind of like my man Colin Kaepernick, which we got a story about him coming up. But he started raising a stink, and that's the reason why they got rid of him. So they figured if they get rid of him, they won't have to worry about him complaining all that much, especially when it came to the subject that we're talking about.
Well, he was able to find another job. He said he must admit that it is a lower paying job, and they are having a hard time making ends meet. But he said he doesn't go through the rigmarole of all the racial.
And that's the whole point. Sometimes you got to do stuff like that. You got to take something less than what you had before to have peace of mind in the workplace.
Well, he has obtained a lawyer, and I love how the lawyer explained this. He said, we are suing Bison Specialty for back pay, front pay, damages, emotional pain, suffering, inconvenience, mental anguish, loss of enjoyment of life, and fringe benefits. I love it. He captured everything from the rooter to the tutor.
As my grandfather would say. The whole pig.
The whole pig. Cause you don't know this. I mean, some people think, it's like, oh, just get over it. It's just words. Words can cut.
I tell people that all the time,
Words can
man.
cut.
I tell people that all the time, man. People keep on saying that the N word, it's just a word. No. No. It's deeper than that. Way deeper. The meaning behind that word is what hurts.
And I appreciate what this young man said. He said, people do not appreciate the fact that people of color have to put an extra suit of armor on when they walk outside and when they go to work, because it is certainly a game changer when you walk in the door versus when you're at home or when you're with your family and friends, and people that care about you wouldn't say things like that to you. You'll think you'll get that same treatment at work, but unfortunately, no.
Nah, you don't.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate, but hey.
So hopefully he wins his lawsuit too.
Good. I hope he does too.
I hate that, but yeah, 2.5 years, man, that's a long time.
That's
a very
every day
long
too,
time.
man. That's the thing about it. Every single day that you go to work, you gotta hear something stupid come out of somebody's mouth. And he's the supervisor. That's the sad part.
Here's a story, kind of like the one that was from last podcast. Quote, something so simple, end quote. Witnesses claim police who arrested Kansas teen Cedric Lofton refused to get him mental health eval after they were informed it would mean more work for them. So when they was filling out the paperwork and they realized that he had a mental issue, instead of checking that so he can go get an eval, they just checked another box where he just went into regular population.
Damn!
Yeah. And in between that time, he was physically abused by other inmates.
What?
Yeah.
I hate to hear stuff like that.
17 years old.
That doesn't have anything to do with training. If he was white, I'm just gonna be real with you. If he was white, he would still be alive. Let's just be honest. You and me both know that. If he was white, he would still be alive.
And I didn't know until I read an article yesterday. This is a side note. The Judds, the country singer, the Judds, the mother passed away yesterday. And they said she passed away from mental health. I didn't know you can pass away from mental health.
If it gets to the point, you can do some damage to yourself.
Right, and this is what happened to this young man.
People have to understand the whole thing about depression, the manic, bipolar disorder, the whole nine. People have to make schizophrenia, whatever the case may be, whatever mental issues a person is having, or emotional issues, it doesn't matter. They're pretty much one and the same in my personal opinion. They can cause damage to you. They can cause damage to you physically.
And see, I didn't know. I thought it was just like a mental, like you'll see things or you might see spots, or I didn't know it can literally kill you.
It can.
I did not know that.
It can.
And here's a story right here, a young man who needed the help and they didn't want to do paperwork for him to get him the help, so he ended up passing away in custody.
Like I said, if he was white, he'd probably still be alive. And I'll just go ahead and I'm going to stand on that too. I'll stand on it. I don't care what nobody says.
Well, shout out to his family. I hate to say this. I hope they
get some justice, man.
Get some justice that they need.
That was just completely
17.
17 years old. He was just a baby.
Wow. Okay, moving on. Now this is a story. It's I'm gonna go ahead and talk about. I don't think I mentioned to you. It just came up in my feed. You probably heard about it. It was supposed to be a Juneteenth Soul Food Festival in Arkansas. Yeah. They got canceled because the judges on the panel were all white.
Oh, I didn't mean to clap. I did not mean to clap. I hit the wrong button. Damn. That's what I meant to hit.
Yeah. The flyer, it says Juneteenth, save the date, Juneteenth Soul Food Festival and Market. And the 3 judges on here were local weatherman, a newspaper anchor, and a multimedia company president. But from my understanding, they were sponsoring it. They're not the judges. So I'm wondering who got it twisted that they will go ahead and cancel the whole festival just because 3 faces was on the flyer. I'm having a hard time understanding. I'm thinking, so just because 3 faces on the front, so that means the whole festival is going to get canceled. So obviously it has been canceled because they did not like that 3 white faces was on the flyer, where they thinking it should be black representation of black people on the flyer. But I'm thinking Juneteenth is Juneteenth, so only black people can celebrate Juneteenth. This is how I'm taking this to be, because they said they canceled because of the white faces it was on there. But after I further read in the article, it's like they really wasn't, because it was nowhere on there that said they were going to be the judges. It just said that they were the one that was quote unquote sponsoring it. So I don't know where the lines got crossed. They went ahead and canceled the whole thing.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Unbelievable. But yeah, I thought that was a little hilarious. I'm like, dang, now we're canceling whole shebangs because people faces on a flyer.
Well, I can see why. I can kind of sort of see why. I see the premise behind it, because Juneteenth isn't really practiced by white people. It didn't really come. Black people have always celebrated Juneteenth. We've always done it. So whenever you see nothing but white people on Juneteenth, they're trying to co-opt the whole celebration, which I can kind of see that. I understand that perfectly. Really? I do. I understand why they did it.
Okay.
Do I think it makes sense? Man, kind of, sort of, but not really. But I get it. I get why they did it.
Okay, my brother texts Michael. Okay, well, he don't have a partner. He texts me. He said white folks like hot sauce with their black eyed peas.
Man,
that's a good one, brother. That's a good one. But yeah, they do. But when I first started working at the company I was working for, like 22, 23 years ago,
right,
the owner of my company that I was working for then, he was the first one to take me to, we have a famous soul food restaurant down here called Sweet Georgia Brown. And Sweet Georgia Brown is where you call the hood. And this man who lives in Preston Hollow, which is a sedity part of town here,
right,
was the one who took me and some other co-workers to Sweet Georgia Brown.
Whoa.
Right. And I was like, the whole time, and he brought us in here. At that time, that's when the big Suburban just came out, and we all loaded up in his Suburban. And I'm like, okay, he probably finna take us to Micasinas or Nick and Sam's or even Glory, all these little nice restaurants over off of Lemon Avenue. But we kept driving and driving and driving and driving. I'm like, where is this man taking us? We ended up at Sweet Georgia Brown.
Man, let me tell you something.
A soul food restaurant.
Let me tell you something real quick. Let me tell you something real quick. Don't let white folks fool you. They like soul food just as much as we do.
Yes, they do.
Because you got to understand something. During slavery, who cooked the food? Big Mama Neil.
Oh yeah. And that's what they ate.
Exactly.
They got the better part of the soul food.
Oh yeah. they ate high on the hog.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. They ate high on the hog. So with that said, Big Mama didn't cook the food. So of course they're gonna like soul food, especially if they're from the South.
Right.
And Texas is South.
I don't know. It's weird to me, but yeah. That's why I'm like, where is he taking us? And that was the best. That's the first time I ever ate there, and that was the best soul food. I was like, wow, we're not better than my granny's at the time, but yeah, I was just shocked that we were like, what does he know about? But just being in his presence and talking to him, I learned a lot about him. And that's the one I was telling you about, who used to go to Africa, like going next door. He would go to Africa like 6 or 7 times a year, and I used to put that on my bucket list that I'm gonna go to Africa, because this man goes like he is going next door, and I haven't even been. So very, very encouraging. So moving on, next story. This story right here is one I showed you this morning. New York parents are calling for teachers to be fired over alleged cotton cuffs lesson. Damn. Yeah. A teacher in New York City is being investigated after students who were black were made to pick seeds out of cotton while wearing handcuffs during class.
What? Man.
They were 7th graders in Rochester, New York.
Right.
Really not understanding. Like, don't get me wrong. I know this probably was her way of teaching slavery. Of course, when I was in school, they taught us slavery, but to actually give us cotton and tell us to pick the seeds out the cotton while wearing shackles or handcuffs, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. I don't understand the relevancy of her doing that. But yeah, so I guess you wanted them to feel how it really felt. I don't understand this teacher's ramification for this action. What do you think?
Well, I'm I don't know what to say about that, to be honest with you. I mean, because if it was me in the 7th grade, I would have been offended. And I would have got on the phone and said, I need to talk to my mother.
Well, this one young lady, her name was Janisa Brown. She said, I was immediately like, oh no, I'm not doing that. And then the teacher was like, do it. It's for a good grade. That's not funny. That's sick. I guess some people are just they're not aware of the things they do. It's like they just trying to think of stuff for the kids to do in school, or thinking that it will help them understand slavery. I don't know. I don't know.
Who understands slavery better than American black people?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
You don't need to teach me shit about slavery.
Yeah,
I could teach you some things about slavery.
You'll give me a satchel of cotton and tell me to pick the seeds out, and then you shackle my wrists together to do it? Oh man. I don't want to feel slavery that much. Just tell me about it. I ain't really got to be a part of it, sir, ma'am. Thank you. And here's another story that kind of touched my soul. I don't know if a lot of you guys have seen it or not, but on the news this week, an 8-year-old was detained by the police again in Syracuse, New York, for allegedly stealing a bag of potato chips. Damn. When I tell you those police manhandled that baby like he was a grown man, that's what touched me, which touched my spirit and my soul, because the way they was manhandling him. It was 2 officers that was doing it. Again, I tell you, this is an 8-year-old boy, no taller than maybe 4'2", 4'3", and these are some big burly police officers. They threw him in the back of the police car. It was totally disgusting to watch the video. I teared up and everything. I'm like, wow. And he was steady crying and begging and telling them, I did not do it. 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 And then they had a bystander there. Just luckily, he was there recording it, and he was even offering to pay for the chips. And they still arrested the little boy. So I don't know. I don't even know how to take this story. It's like these policemen, like I said, every week, it's like they're getting out of control, and I'm not understanding why.
I remember when I sent you that story, and I read it and I saw the video. There were people saying he's not the one that did it. The cops didn't care.
My thing is, like I asked you, I'm pretty sure he's a neighborhood kid. He probably go to this same store, gets a corner store. Wouldn't the owner of the store or the cashier in the store know who it was, or know that this young man is one of the ones who didn't do it? So if he knew he didn't do it, well, it's kind of like I don't really know how to take this story, because when the police officer unzipped his jacket, there sat a big old bag of Doritos in his jacket. So I don't know if he really took the Doritos. Did he pay for them? But the young man kept saying, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. So I don't know. And they really I haven't read anywhere where they said that they interviewed the store clerk or the store owner. Did he get mistaken? Did this young man pay for his? I don't know. I'm just disgusted about the video that I seen of them, the way they manhandled this little 8-year-old boy over a bag of Doritos.
If he stole the Doritos, you don't arrest a child. You call the child's parent or parents, and you let them take care of it from there. You don't arrest a child. Because I'm going to tell you right now, to be honest with you, growing up, if I was to ever go into a store and steal anything, and my mother was called, I'd just tell the cops, take me to jail. I'd rather spend the night in jail than to get an ass whooping from that woman right there, because I know she's going to tear it up, as she should. But and I was joking right there, y'all. I would want to go to jail, but I would just say, hey, you know what? Call my mama. Call my mother. I mean, he wasn't when I saw the little boy. He wasn't more than 7, maybe 8 years old.
Yeah, he was 8, and the father, Anthony Williams, said that the police did come to his home after the incident and told him that his 3 boys was accused of stealing the chips. So, and then he said, he looked at the video, and that's what made him happy. He said, I was willing to pay for the chips. It was just a $3 bag of chips, but the way they mishandled my child, I said, yeah, that's the part that got me. That part. And he was just crying. One of the brothers just standing there looking in disbelief, like he didn't know what to do. He was helpless, couldn't help his little brother. So it was just, you don't know what kind of effect this might have on the child lifelong.
This is going to affect him for a very long time because he was actually arrested at the age of 8.
They put him, they handcuffed him,
put him in the back of the squad car,
like he was a grown, like he was a killer, So
who was that went into the Dylan Roof when he went into the church and shot those people up? They treated him like he was a Vogue model.
Gave him a cigarette.
Took him to Burger King.
Got him something to eat.
And he was, man.
That's just a difference in that color. That color of their skin. Now here's a story. I'm pretty sure you all are aware. Earlier last week, of course, the George Floyd story popped back up. And it's because Mr. Chauvin, Derek, is once again appealing his conviction.
What?
Yeah. Mr. Chauvin seems to think that he needs to appeal his verdict and get his sentence reduced because the court where his trial was held, they didn't get all the information that they needed and was given misguided information, which led to his conviction and his sentencing of 22 and a half years.
So let me ask you a question. What more evidence do you need than a nationwide video of your whole body weight on the right in the small of another man's neck? What more information do you need? What more information could you possibly ask for?
That's why I'm so baffled by this story. It's like...
But I did tell you. You remember I told you he was going to appeal his case. Remember that, right? Okay.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
How? This, like I said, reminds me of this girl down here who shot Jothan Bump. You walked into this man's apartment. He's sitting on his own couch and you kill him. Why are you steady appealing? This man is on camera with his hands in his pocket and his knee on this man's neck.
Full weight.
Why are you trying to appeal? Take it, do your time, praying that you can get out and still have some type of productive life.
He's going to get out in about 10 years. Because he got what, 20-something, 22 years?
22 and a half years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tell Mike to type in the chat room. I want to see what he's saying.
I think Mike, if you can type into the chat room, type there. He texted me though. He said, over some chips. I said, yeah, remind me of George Floyd. Yeah, you're right. It was something like the story about the kids doing the cotton. It was a story here in Pascal similar to that.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
What I tell y'all about wanting black privileges. White folks taking advantage of every weight with toys, white privilege crap. Yeah. I
agree with you. That's why we're doing this show, Mike. You inspired this show. So, yeah.
Yep. But yeah, Derek Chauvin, I really don't understand. And if we're going to waste taxpayer dollars, why won't we waste taxpayer dollars trying to find out who killed Breonna?
Oh,
let's start wasting taxpayers' money there,
you struck a
because
nerve.
y'all started reopening, revisiting cases that has got the sentencing. Stop it!
You struck a nerve.
I mean, I'm tired of it. It's ridiculous. That baby mom probably has not had a good night's sleep because her daughter case is still wide open.
Oh, she hasn't. Because her daughter is dead.
I don't.
She hasn't.
And why they keep doing it? Why do they keep reopening cases like this? Because they feel like they didn't get a free trial. They didn't get a fair trial. I mean, you was in the courtroom from my understanding, because I looked at the entire case when I could. When they was picking the jury, you were a part of that process.
Yeah.
You saw the jury up front. You was part of the yay or the nay. So now what part did they not get that you don't think they got from when you was on actual trial?
Hello.
Moving on. Please say no to this. Please don't give him
whoever's in charge.
Yes.
Whoever's in charge,
Please.
deny this appeal. Because he got what, 22 years?
22 and a half.
22 and a half years. He'll be out in 10. So he's going to serve half of his time. He's going to get right out. I can promise you that. 10 years from now, people are going to go back on this show and say, damn, Reggie was right.
And they were one of the questions. Like, why do you want to appeal? He said because he felt like some of the jurors were intimidated by the prosecutors. I mean, not prosecutors, I'm sorry, protesters. What? Some of the jurors were intimidated by the protesters. From my understanding, they never left. When they left the court, they went to an underground, what you call that, alley, walkway, whatever, to a hotel.
Yeah, so he wouldn't get killed.
To a hotel. So I don't think nobody knew who was on the case.
Right.
So that's a lie.
Right.
Please say no to this. Please don't give him another trial. Please.
You know they are. You know they are.
Please. That's just wasted taxpayer money.
For sure. I agree.
Sorry. Here's the big story of the day before we get to the topic of the day. You ready? Pretty sure you guys have heard that billionaire Elon Musk bought Twitter.
Yeah.
For $44 billion.
That man got more money than anybody.
Yeah. Now, word on the curb, and I meant to say it like that, word on the curb, is that Mr. Musk is African American.
Damn.
Shocking to some people, not to me and Mr. O here.
No.
Because there are a lot of African Americans
that ain't black,
who are not black.
And now let me explain that, ladies and gentlemen. Mike is in the chat room. Thanks, Mike. Mike is in the chat room.
Okay, hey, Mike.
Anyway, let me just say this about that. The reason why that he can claim African American, because he was born in South Africa, correct? He was born in South Africa. Now he's an American citizen. That makes him an African American.
Yeah.
No matter how white he is. Now, back, I want to say in the mid to late 80s, early 90s, there was a case. There was a guy who was of Pakistani descent. His family migrated to South Africa. He was born in South Africa, which makes him a South African citizen. He came to then his family migrated from South Africa to America and became American citizens, which made him an African American. He was getting ready to graduate high school and wanted to go to college. He applied for the United Negro College Fund, which is privy to African Americans. He applied for that scholarship, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the board over there at the United Negro College Fund saw that he wasn't one of us, and they took the scholarship back. He said, "But wait a minute, I'm an African American," and he really is an African American.
He is.
So he sued the United Negro College Fund and won.
Yep. On a it's not even a technicality. It's
true.
He is an African American. Yeah.
Right. He's very much an African American, just like Charlize Theron. She's an African American. She's whiter than white. So this is why I don't use the term African American when I refer to myself black family. I call myself and my wife foundational black Americans, because that's what we are. We're not African Americans, because you can't co-opt foundational black Americans.
Right.
You can co-opt African Americans, which is exactly what's going on here. And we just started calling ourselves African Americans until after Messy Jesse started running for president back in the 80s. That's where they came from. Actually, it was out before then, but it didn't really start catching on. Until Messy Jesse started doing it. So yeah. And
this is the part that hurt my spirit about this story. Do we have that many clueless black conservatives in Congress and running for public office that they don't know the difference between African American
and foundational black American? Yeah, you're absolutely.
Because they are the one that's leading this narrative on this story.
Yep.
Black conservatives.
Right.
You would think that they would be the number one people to know the difference. And it's kind of an insult to me.
I agree.
They're telling us, yay, we have an African American, there's a billionaire. He's not what you think he is, sir, ma'am.
Exactly.
He's not black. This man okay. let me get off my soapbox, but I just hate the fact that this many black conservatives is saying that we should praise him because he is one of the top African Americans in the world and that he is doing great things for. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right then.
Black conservatives, and this is who we have up there fighting for our reparations, ma'am.
Not just
sir.
not just the black conservatives, but the black liberals as well. So it's both of them, and neither one of them don't know bullshit from Rice Krispies. So
in this picture that I'm looking at, Elon Musk looking like black.
No, he's not black.
He looking like African American.
He is an African American. He is an African American,
but not the way they think.
Not the way they think, but you know, but yeah, he's definitely an African American. So, like I said, black family, stop using that term African American, please. Stop using that term, because when white folks start calling themselves that, and a lot of them do, they can co-opt it. And that's exactly what they've done in the manner of speaking. So there's that.
Well, it was just one comment that I wanted to read that kind of makes sense to me and I can relate to. It says, this article is truly ridiculous. It is a play on word recognition meant to cause discussions and confusion among Americans of African descent.
Okay.
Musk's African parent is not truly a native of Africa, the same as whites are not natural natives of America.
We know that.
Shout out to Ronnie03.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
But still, let's just be honest. I mean, according to the powers that be, he's an African American. They're absolutely right. He is an African American.
But not in the sense that we as black Americans
No.
think.
Not like that.
Yeah.
Not like
that's
that.
sad that some of us are thinking that.
Right. Exactly. That it for the current events?
Yeah, that's all I have for current events.
All right. Hold on, baby. Let me go ahead and get the splash screen up so we can do our thug thizzle. All right. Let's go ahead. I did a little splash screen before the show. I think you're going to like it. It's called the Word Cloud, and it's got a whole bunch of different things in it. And as soon as it pops up on the big screen, there it goes. We have.
Yeah. Let me say, Michael said about the African American comment. He said he hates that it's even on applications. Yeah.
I agree. I hate it too, Mike.
Yeah.
I hate it too, Mike. I do too.
Absolutely.
But you know, it's there, unfortunately. So, all right, now, shout out to my brother-in-law. Let me just say this. I came up with this show. Actually, we came up with this show. We were having a conversation with my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, which happens to be Mike's wife,
Kimberly.
Shout out to her. And Mike asked a really good question. He said, will we ever get reparations? And I said, that's a good question. We're going to talk about that on the next podcast, and here we are. So I'm going to lay the question to my lovely wife. I want your input on this. Do you think, A, we need reparations, and B, we deserve reparations?
Let me hold on. I just lost my pen. Let me go back to my page.
All right.
Like you said, we've discussed this several times on the show.
Right.
And just so I can get a clear understanding of what the word reparations meant or mean, I looked it up.
Okay.
Like I always do, to make sure I'm understanding what's going on.
All right.
The word, it is a noun. The making of amends for a wrong one has done.
Okay.
By paying money to or otherwise helping those who has been wronged.
Okay.
The compensation for war damage paid by defeated circle. That's something that's like with the the Jews and the Japanese people. Okay.
Right.
But let's go back to reparations for slavery. Like I said, slavery was over, I think, in 1865.
Well, actually, technically, it was completely 100% over in 1869.
And we got to, that's what they promised us.
40 acres and a mule.
40 acres and a mule. And that's shout out to, not Stephen West, was it Spike Lee for that. Because that's what the name of his company is, 40 acres and a mule. And I love that. Me too. If that's what they promise you, I know people can lie all the time. They can tell you anything just to get you here. But to me, if it was owed to us and promised to us, like you said, cut the check.
Exactly.
Cut the check.
Okay.
I know a lot of people look at it as a means of, you and I discussed this, if they do pay out reparations, some of us may get in another tax bracket that compete with other races.
Yeah.
That's going to be a problem as well.
Of course.
But if it's owed to us, why are you looking at it in that faction? Again, cut the check.
Yeah. Hey.
So to me, I know me and my cousin was talking about doing our family history. I think he got it back to the early 1800s. So I do have slaves in my family.
Yeah.
And if you promised that to my ancestors, and here I am a offspring of my ancestors,
Yeah.
cut the check.
Hello.
I'm not saying this to be greedy,
Right.
malicious, money hungry.
Uh-huh.
As your word on there, fair. It's fair.
Right.
It's owed.
Mm-hmm.
It's a given.
Yeah.
Again, cut the check.
There you go.
I'm done.
No said, man.
Drop the mic.
Hello. Mic drop. I ain't got that sound effect. I need to find that. Mic drop.
Why do you think this word is even in the dictionary? Because you people, I hate when people say that, you people created the word to give us some kind of hope that we do come over here and work our fingers to the bone, make your land a better land, create all these magnificent and glorious items that we use today: stoplight, navigation sensor, light bulb, light switch, okay, took care of your babies, and we make this world and this country a better place for you and me. Cut the check.
I agree.
So to answer your question, I think reparation should be appropriated.
Okay. That's all I need to
Now
hear.
the other question, like I said, I had another question.
Okay.
Why is it taking so long? Because from my understanding, slavery was way before the Holocaust.
Yep.
It was way before the bomb was dropped on Japan.
I agree.
So why is it taking us so long?
They don't want to give it up. That's all of this to it.
The Jews was getting paid as soon as that holiday. They still get paid today, from my
Yeah.
understanding.
Yeah, they get paid. They get paid here in the United States. The Ashkenazi Jews do, and the Jews over in Israel, which is the biggest Jewish country in the on the planet. America sends them billions of dollars a year.
A year. Same thing as Japan.
Yeah.
So again, my question is, why is it that I have not read anywhere when the Holocaust started that a discussion or a panel or a study was generated to make sure that the Jews should get paid reparation?
Come on now.
I've never read that a study or a case or a what you call people that get together and try to a research team will have to pay Japan.
Well,
why are they here for pay black people?
Because they don't want to give it to us.
Why? What's the difference? Again,
there is no difference.
That melanin.
There is no difference. The only
That
thing that's different
melanin.
is the color of the skin. That's the only thing that's really different. And I've always said this, and I've told Mike this as well. The reason why that they won't give us reparations, and the reason why they keep holding on to it, is because of the fact that if they do give us reparations, they'll put us on an even playing field with them. They don't want any competition. That's the problem. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Foundational Black Americans have proven on time and time again that we are better than them in every way. In every way possible.
Every aspect of it, yeah.
So that's the reason why.
Just not sports,
Not just
people.
sports. I ain't even talking about sports. Damn that.
Education.
I'm talking about education-wise.
Entrepreneurship.
Come on now.
Business
Anytime you can.
Business decision makers.
Thank you.
Yes.
Anytime you can tell a black person and give them some guts that came from the inside of a hog, and they make a delicacy out of it. Come on, what does that tell you?
Say it again.
So what does that tell you?
Say it again.
We're not stupid. Every genre of music we invented here in the United States. What's the most popular music genre right now in the United States? Right now, all over the world.
Rap.
Hip hop.
Hip hop
Exactly.
and rap.
Hip hop.
Well, shout out to my brother. Like, it's just gonna be the Michael show, Cause shout out to Michael, cause I remember a long time ago, a couple of years ago, we were having this conversation before my parents died. We would get together and have Sunday dinners,
Right.
And then after Sunday, then we would have real in-depth conversations.
Yeah.
And I remember my brother said, if a recession hit today, he gonna be okay.
Exactly.
Cause he know how to plant his own vegetables.
I do too.
He
Grow
know
for the
how
country.
to grow them.
Yep.
He know how to raise animals.
Yep.
And revisit them as our food
Come on
supply.
now. Come on now. Oh yeah.
He know how to harvest.
Yeah.
And I said I'm gonna be right there on his lane.
Well,
You know, because I'm like, a lot of people don't know how to do that.
and that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a really big problem.
Yeah.
I think, but you know, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, that's when Mike came up with this question and said we
Mm-hmm.
should talk about on the show. I was all for it. You know that.
Okay, so now it's your turn. You explain to me, what do you think reparations? Is it fair game, or is it something that needs to still be discussed?
Don't need to be discussed. We need it.
Why?
There's no discussion about it
Why do
because
we
we're
need it?
old. Because we're old. It's just like you said. We're old reparations.
Mm-hmm.
40 acres and a mule. They reneged on that so quick.
Mm-hmm. And I'm still stuck on the question: why did they renege with us,
They
but
reneged
not
with everybody else.
other races that pretty much? I'm not gonna say the Holocaust was worse than slavery. I
No.
mean, I know they had some.
They did some. Yeah.
What's his name? Nazi? Who's the
Hitler.
name? Hitler. Hitler did some awful things.
I'm not saying he
to a
didn't.
lot of people.
I'm not saying he didn't either.
But a lot
I'm
of
not
our
saying he
slave
didn't either.
ancestors went through hell as well.
Oh, come on. We
In
went
front
through
of the whole little town.
rape.
Auction off.
Auction off your family.
Oh my God.
Come on, man.
Rape the men raped as well.
The men being
Men
raped as
and
well.
women.
So it wasn't just the women. The babies raped.
My mama sitting up there, black as this table, but she got a whole white baby dangling from her breast.
Come on now.
Who? And it's not even her baby.
Exactly.
It's because the mammy, the white owner, slave owner, couldn't breastfeed.
Didn't want to breastfeed.
Yeah, didn't want to breastfeed or couldn't produce.
Or just couldn't produce. Yeah.
And to hear my grandma with these big old luxurious breasts,
Oh yeah.
which had a baby the same time she did, she's
Yeah.
giving her baby milk supply to nourish this white baby.
Come on now.
You don't think that's some type of reparation?
Oh, we're
I
old,
didn't have to
man.
give my baby milk to your baby.
Sure didn't.
Because if it wasn't for my baby milk, your baby probably had, what is it, diphtheria
Ain't no
and
telling.
whatever,
Ain't no
all them
telling.
other diseases they had
Ain't
back
no telling.
then.
Ain't no telling. Ain't no
So that's
telling.
because of me that your baby is healthy and probably came out to be an owner of a
Precisely.
company somewhere.
Precisely. Marvin's in the building. What's up, Nas?
Hey, Marv.
He said we are too scared to demand and not ask what's old. I agree with you on that. I agree with him on that.
No, okay, let me.
I
Okay,
agree
let
with him
me,
on that.
okay, let me
A
play
lot of
devil's
us are.
advocate.
A lot of us are.
Okay, so if that's the case, who keeps coming up with these stories? These studies. Somebody have to be asking something, guys, because they will be coming up with these studies and these cases
here's the
and all
thing.
that.
Here's the thing. Let me explain that. Mm-hmm. The reason why is because it's how they ask. See, if you go up to somebody and say, "Hey, could I have a little something to tie me over for a few days? You know, until I get
do
paid."
you mind? I have a hypothetical question for you.
Could you please
Yeah.
get black people? Can we have our No. See, you need to go up there and say, "Hey, give us what's owed to us."
I need somebody like Pinky to walk in there and bust open the door. Give my money.
Get my money.
Give my reparations right now.
Get my reparation.
Yeah, we need somebody. 'Cause, yeah, you right. It's probably somebody going there. Excuse me.
Yeah,
we have this issue with the black people.
Right.
They're talking about, reparations.
And it's
nobody
always-
that stands
but see-
strong in it.
Well, see, here's the thing, and here's the other part to that too. Other part to that is that there's a lot of black people that say we don't need reparations.
And I don't know what rock they've been living under, unless they probably not a descendants of slaves.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how. If you're black, you are.
Marvin put up a good point. He said the Japanese are compensated, the Jews, Hispanics, every other race is compensated for their building of America but us.
And
But
now the alphabet people.
But here's the thing about that, Nas. Didn't nobody build America from the ground up but us.
But us. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I mean, true enough, the Japanese helped build, the Chinese helped build the railroads. I
Later
give them
on.
that. Later on, that was later on down the line. But
Later
who's
on.
building them at first? Us.
Us. We helped build railroad tracks, and they put railroad tracks on our backs.
Hello.
With them whips.
Come on now.
So yeah.
Yes,
I don't know.
indeed.
Like I said, I don't. And we tried to put strong-willed political figures in office that we thought that was going to get in there and what's that old saying? Showed ourselves self-approved, but
and they did absolutely nothing.
We just keep getting studies and case loads.
Yeah, because that HR.
We're talking about it. We're talking about it.
Yeah, because that HR 40 bill is only worth. Only thing you could do with that, wipe your ass with it. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
That's not going to do any good.
So that's been around now for what?
The HR 40 bill. When did Jim Clyburn come up with that bullshit? I want to say he did that shit in the 90s.
Yeah, I think it was. I remember he was still heavy involved. Let me look that up, 'cause now you got me wondering.
Yeah, the HR 40 bill. When was it written up? I know Jim Clyburn was the main person that penned it.
Cause that is a good question. Cause it's like if he's the one who brought it up, and why hasn't it been?
And he's one of the black people to say we don't need reparations.
Mm-hmm. And I'm surprised at him.
Thought
he was really.
I'm not. Jim Clyburn's a coon.
I thought he was really on code, but
no. Jim Clyburn's way off code. It's a lot of them that's off code.
Oh, is it January 4th, 2021?
That's when it was put up.
That's what it has here.
Oh, is that when it was brought up to Congress?
Okay, that's when it was. Okay, yeah. 1916 through 1865 established a commission to study and consider natural reparations. HR 40. It really doesn't say. It just say when they feel
doesn't say what it was written.
Yeah, but it does say what time frame they want the reparation for. Like I said, 1619 to 1865.
So again, like I said, illegal immigrants ain't getting no study. They getting a shitload of money. The Ukrainians who ain't even here. Didn't Biden just send them out another few $1 billion?
Yeah, that's what I understand. And you won't eliminate student loan.
That's all you gonna do?
I mean, at least start somewhere. But you said it's sending money over there, and I don't. Like I said, my heart break. Like I said, everybody know I love me some Don Lemon. I haven't looked at Don Lemon in how long, baby? About 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Longer than that.
Because they always talk about the war.
It's been longer than that.
I just don't want to see it. It's just devastating to see all that destruction going on over something so senseless.
Right.
And so, but he's steady sending money over there. But I'm not seeing anything that they're doing to produce or to get this war over with. So why steady send money over there? I don't get it.
To keep us from having it.
I don't know. But like I said, I have been a contributor, for lack of a better word, of the what those things we were getting during COVID, those little checks.
Oh.
What are things called? Well, I didn't use them.
The stimulus.
Stimulus. Okay, I have been a product of the stimulus. Shout out to Uncle Biden. I still wonder where did all that money come from?
Exactly.
Where did all that money come from?
That's where I'm getting at.
You can pay just about everybody in America.
And that's what I'm getting at right there.
$1,400, $1,200, $600, 3 different pops.
That's what I'm getting at.
But we ain't got no money for reparations.
And that's where I want to get
at
at
least
right
get
there.
It started.
Yeah, that's where I want to get at right there.
Yeah.
They come up with the money for everybody else except for us.
Immediately.
They came up with that money for the Ukrainians overnight.
Yeah. January 3rd, 2017. That's when he introduced the bill.
Oh, okay.
January 3rd, 2017. Okay.
Yeah. But still.
That's a long time, though. We're in 2022. Yep. And they still talking about it.
They're still talking about the shit.
They must talk like, what's that man on Curb It Up? Mrs. Wiggins. They're not getting a good conversation out of this conversation.
Word up. That's being real.
But yeah, just think about that. All those checks, I know some people who say they didn't get it. Some of us who did. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
And even people who like on child support and owe the government, they were able to get it. They didn't hold their checks, you know. So how did that money? I know COVID was a devastating affair that happened to this country, and I am not trying to dismiss it at all. Please don't get me wrong.
Right.
But where did that money come from? Poof, overnight. To help us care, which is true. Some of us would have lost our homes, our cars, because some of us lost our jobs and everything.
Right. But
it kept us afloat. I'm not knocking it. Thank you, Jesus. I was able to be a part of it. But again, Not being decisive, but where'd that money come from?
Good question. Like I said, they came up with those checks overnight.
Overnight.
But
And not one time, not 2 times, but it was 3 different times.
Exactly.
That's a lot of money.
That's a whole lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
And again, like I said, they came up with that money overnight. But when it comes to black people asking for reparations, you know what? We ain't got it right now. You know, I tell you what, we're going to put a study out to see if you actually need reparations. And once we do that, because what that study basically means is this right here. They're going to study to see if we actually need reparations. And then when they determine that we do need reparations, what kind of reparations are we going to get? So basically what that means is this. If they determine that black people need 20 tons of gummy bears as reparations, that's what we're going to get.
Oh. Excuse me, you done made me choke on my little tea.
I'm just saying, I'm just using that as an example.
Oh, you know, and that's what I'm saying. So if that is hypothetical, and if that is the final result, is that fair? Everybody else got money, dollar bills, y'all.
Yeah, they don't want to give us any money. They want to give us bullshit like.
And that's what I asked you earlier.
No.
An apology. Would you accept an apology?
Hell no.
Okay. So why do we have to get the differential than everybody else?
Do I need to answer that question?
Yes.
Because we black. That's why.
And that's sick.
I agree.
But they keep saying there's no racism in this world.
That's bullshit. Come on. That's a lie.
Yeah.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Gummy bears. Wow, they caught me off guard. Wow.
But still, you know, but that's a nation that we live in right about now. You know, Marvin put up a pretty good point. He said, you're right, we did build it all, yet others get compensated for their labor, even if it was just a small percentage, and we have contributed to the most, yet get the least, just a bunch of BS promises and lies. And he's absolutely right.
Absolutely, brother. State that. State that.
He's absolutely right.
We get pennies to other people's quarters.
Well, see,
I don't get that.
Well, see, that's just it. And that's another thing. See, if we were to give reparations, instead of us getting a seat at the table and getting crumbs from that particular table, we could build our own damn table. They don't want that to happen.
But Jews do it. Jewish people do it.
Yep.
They're like the number one richest people in the world.
Yep.
Japanese people do it.
Yep.
They just not doing nails, y'all.
No, they're not.
They have some big quality companies and businesses going up in this world.
No doubt.
So they're getting the same advantages as the masses.
Yep.
So why can't we be a part of that pie?
That's a good question. They don't want us to be a part of that pie.
Why us though? Why you to do that to them? We live here.
I agree.
They don't.
I agree.
I don't get it. But y'all keep saying there's no racism in this country.
There's lots of racism in this country. You got to be living
slavery. There wasn't no such thing as slavery, and it kills my. I'm gonna say like my mom used to say, it galls my ass when I hear black people say slavery was not an issue. Slavery was not a thing. There was no such thing as slavery.
What do you call it then? Just free labor?
This is us working. This is like us getting up, putting on our hats, and going to Taco Bell. Yeah, that's how they feel. Cause all they felt like that wasn't slavery. If I didn't do something right the way you want, I get hit with a whip on the back of my back. Really?
Or if I get accused of doing something I didn't do,
get my foot cut off.
Get your foot cut off.
Or my wife get raped because she got a nice booty.
Yeah.
And my husband get his thing cut off because he's a big burly man and you trying to make an example out of him.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. We go to McDonald's and Nokia and GPM, Exxon.
Yeah.
Is that what happened to us when we go to work?
Yep. Pretty much.
In the words of the late great Bernie Mac, I wish a nigga would. I mean, baby, I'd be on the bread line. I would go to Walmart, give me a cute little tent, and I'll be under the freeway. It's not warranted these days, people. I know we get the short end of the stick on everything, but we're gonna have to do something different. And that's why I keep saying, what can we do? We followed the standards. We did the 1, 2, 3s, ABC.
We do exactly what we're doing right now. But we do what we're doing right now.
But look how long.
It don't matter. It don't matter. No matter how long it takes, as long as we get that justice, which is why I keep on pressing that book. And I wish I had a picture of it right now. The Compensatory Counter-Racist Code. I keep on saying that. There's a lot of good stuff in that book, man.
That's relatable today.
That's relatable to what's going on right now. Okay, because the way white supremacy is, they control all 9 known areas of human activity. I'm gonna see if I can name them all. Economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. That's all 9.
Nine.
Okay?
That's 9.
That's all 9. They
That's
control all of
everything.
that. They control all of that.
That is everything.
So that's why our job is so hard right now, because they control every single aspect of human activity. So we have to find a countermeasure for that, which is what we're doing right now. Stay on their asses, man.
Yeah.
You know, shows like this, Tariq Nasheed, Professor Black Truth, Jason Black,
Hold them accountable.
yeah, hold them accountable. Sister Vicky Dillard, you know, people like that. Sister Shahrazad Ali, all those people.
Well, I know you have your reservations toward Roland Martin. But Roland Martin is, I know sometimes he got them tap dance on as a coon sometimes.
Oh, shit.
But I
lying.
listened to his podcast not too long ago. He was talking about reparations.
Now he's talking about reparations.
Yeah, he's talking about it hard too.
Yeah.
So I don't know what switch done flipped in his brain, but he's talking about it a lot now. So maybe with him having such a strong voice in the political world and airways, maybe somebody will open their eye and be like,
Good question. I don't know. But, you know, like I say, I'm not a Roland Martin fan by any stretch of the imagination,
Yeah.
like you said. I'm
Yeah.
not. I can't stand it. But anyway,
yeah.
let's open these phone lines, man. We got quite a few people in the chat room. So let's open these phone lines. Okay, hold on. Let me get the splash screen changed up, y'all, just in case you need the phone number. And hold on. There it goes. The number is 469-638-3459. Mike, I would love if you call in, man. Call in. Let's hear your opinion. I would love to hear it.
You as well, Nash.
Yeah, of course, man. Marvin's a regular.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
I don't
he's
think
a
is
regular.
Leslie on there?
I haven't seen him.
Oh,
He hasn't commented anything yet, if he is. But anyway.
Oh, your brother busy? Since he brought the conversation about Dick Gregory.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I wonder if he's
So,
on anything.
Well, we'll see. All right, phone lines open, y'all. So call in if you want to call in, express your opinion, because like this is a really, really deep conversation that needs to be had.
Yeah.
But
Like we might feel, like you said, we might feel this way about reparation, but somebody else be like, continue to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and keep going. Don't worry about reparations.
well, see, here's the thing about that. When I hear people say that stupid shit, and I just want to slap the dog crap out of them. But you know, whenever I hear people say stuff like that, I keep on asking them. It's okay for somebody. It's okay for you to say that, but whenever we pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, we don't have it, and we feel down our leg, we don't have any boots to strap up. So how is it even possible? Yo, who's this?
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Mike?
Hey, what's going on, bro?
Oh, can't call it, man. Can't call it, man.
Just how y'all? I'm so glad y'all doing this show, man. Because you know, like we talked about the other night, there's so many questions about black privileges and reparations and all that stuff. And this has been just an interesting topic, as well as making comments. Shout out to Mr. Dion. I'm so glad that there are other people who are feeling the same way, and I really like to hear some more comments from some other people as well.
Oh yeah.
On how this is, because it's getting ridiculous, man. Because there are so many questions that I would have. People still looking for jobs, people still losing their mind, and you mentioned about the mental illness killing folks,
Right.
and that's some scary stuff.
It is.
Among not just our people, just people in general.
In general,
Right.
yeah.
You're right.
Because it's so stressful nowadays. People are just giving up on everything, bro. And I mean, it's getting ridiculous, man.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
agree.
getting ridiculous.
I agree with you.
I mean, I'm learning so much from you guys and your show. I mean, man, y'all are so educated, and there's so many people who are just knowledgeable.
Well, Michael,
I know I
let me
talk about
let me ask you this, Michael. Do you think reparations is needed, and if so, why?
Could you say that again?
Do you think reparations is needed, and if so, why? Why do you think reparations are needed? Why do you think
Oh, it's
reparations should be
definitely
paid? Okay.
It's definitely needed, Michelle. Like Reggie was saying, we got to, we deserve that check.
Yep.
If you don't cut that check to us for years, and we talk about all these many years, how we've been enslaved and how we built this country on hard work and sweat, blood, and tears and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But man, I mean, like I know people think I'm getting on your nerve about this black privilege stuff. I mean, when are black people gonna start doing their research, start fighting for that stuff, man? You know, like we are scared people to ask for stuff. You know, when it comes to other folks, but when it comes to our own people, we speak up, but we don't really move anything. You know, and I think it's a big joke that we talk a good game, but then we get around the folk. You know, man, we clam up.
We bow down. Like, we bow down. Yeah, you're right. We bow down.
Yeah, we bow down. You know, we just stop all this bowing down, man.
Right.
I ain't trying to sound like somebody because it's serious, man. Because that's the reason why we don't get the jobs, we get the education, like we talked about last night, doing a little graduation. I thank y'all for that graduation party, man.
Not a problem.
Absolutely.
And we talked about that, and that's something that's needed most definitely. You know, where do we fit in as far as like us having these privileges and these rights and everything? You know, because we got so many kids right now that parents are working their butt off trying to make sure the kids get educated, and get this degree, and work 10 times, 100 times as hard just to get minimal pay and minimal opportunities. And I think that's BS.
Oh yeah,
I think that's total BS, man. And like I said, I'm wondering how many other black people of color in general, feel this same way. What can be done? What have they researched, and what have they come up with to help others move forward? Because we're when if you really want to get technical, I think that we're a dying race. In my opinion, we're a dying race.
Yeah.
Because if we don't start coming alive by fighting like everybody else, you know, you got these people that are of the LBGQs and all that other stuff,
right?
Who going down here to Congress and saying, "Hey, we need rights," and they're approving this crap with the snap of a finger, and we go down there and they overlook us.
They give us a study. Yeah.
Exactly. Why are you looking the other way? Why you turn the other cheek? But then, like, when we come up with like rap and all this other stuff we're famous and good at,
right?
They getting a piece of that pie, man.
They getting benefits from it.
They getting their cut.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they definitely getting their cut.
So why come we can't get our cut?
That's a good question. Yeah. You made a very good point.
Very good point.
And I just want to say this real quick, you know, to piggyback off what you just said, Mike. And I've said this on this show on several occasions, man. Black people own and control 1/2 or 1% of the nation's wealth and resources, and that's been going on since we were supposedly set free from slavery, and it's still the same way. I mean, true enough, you got black people that own companies and stuff like that. But for every one black company, there's about 3,000 to 4,000 white ones. So, you know, we're still on the bottom rung. You know what I mean? And so, and that's not cool.
And just like that study I did 2 weeks ago, it's getting worse. The gap is getting wider.
Oh
and
yeah,
wider.
the racial wealth gap is definitely getting wider.
It's getting wider.
But that's going.
But after, I don't understand how it's getting wider. We done did the education. We went and got the degrees. We're filing the 1, 2, 3s and ABCs. Why is it getting wider?
Well, we'll talk about that one. That's going to be part 2 of the show. Yeah. That's going to be cut the check part 2.
Good.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the racial wealth gap. We did a previous show about it, but we didn't really get in depth on it. So we definitely going to talk about that part of the show later on down the line.
One question, Mike. Let me ask you: are you, if we are warranted reparations, and they come to you and say, okay, the reparations is going to be an apology, would you accept it?
We can't help but accept it, but you still gotta, have that defense mode on you, man. You gotta, you can't trust man. You know, the Bible says you can't trust man. Man is fickle in all his ways. But if you are, like I said earlier, putting in that resource and the research, and putting your best foot forward, I mean, it's easier to accept it by you having all your resources and your act together and your game plan.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this as a black woman. I'm gonna quote the late great Malcolm X. I'm gonna accept your apology, but I'm gonna need my 40 acres in the mural by any means necessary.
Hello.
Yeah.
If you gotta go sell some stuff off, pawn some stuff, get some money back from some of the other countries you done gave money to, I need you to cut that check.
Hello.
I will accept the apology.
Oh, yeah.
But within 7 to 10 business days, I'm going to need a deposit into my account.
Paper in the
Or
hand.
either a check in the mail.
I got direct deposit.
I'm sorry. It's been too long, y'all.
But
It's too long.
let me say this. You know, our people are the most forgiving. And
Oh,
most loving
yes.
people
And that's the
out
problem.
And that's the problem.
That's the problem.
That's the
there.
problem.
We've been known for that for too long. And
That's the
people have
problem.
taken that for granted and have taken advantage of that for years.
Yep.
And that's the reason why I say we gotta always be on our game plan and on, have our I's, dotted and our T's crossed nowadays when it comes to that stuff. Because our politicians, they'll lie to us. We so used to them lying to us and telling us all kind of crap and all this other stuff, man.
That's why I said we gonna have to stop.
We quick to forgive.
That's why I said we gonna have to stop forgetting. Okay, I give you a chance. Somebody gonna have to bust into the room like Pinky now, and just say, you know what? I'm tired of all this BS. Give me my check.
Give me my money.
Okay, you need another 50 years. Okay, we gonna give you another 50 years. Okay, the 50 years was due yesterday. Okay, you need another 100 years. Okay, we gonna give you another. Now we need somebody to say, no, years is up, time is up. I need it now.
Yeah,
Exactly.
But guys, we done put so many people in place and in office that we thought was gonna do that. Look
Yeah.
how many people we done put in place.
And none of them have done anything.
And none of had nothing.
We
Starting
have-
with the main guru, Clarence Thomas.
Oh my God.
He's sitting on one of the highest courts in the world. And what have that man done?
Nothing for the past 30 years.
Really nothing.
Absolutely
Y'all
nothing.
educated me on something though about this Mr. Musk. That's something else, man. I learned something new.
That's why I said you don't
I
ever
heard him
hear.
on TV this morning.
You'll never hear me say I'm African American because I'm not.
Nah, you're not African American. You're
And you know who sealed the deal for me? Who was that we were looking at? The Smokey Robinson.
Smokey
Robinson sealed the deal for me on that the way he explained it.
He said-
I have never been to Africa. Ever.
Yeah.
So how can I say I'm African American?
And the reason why I don't do it is because of this right here, Mike. Because you got to think about this. The Jamaicans don't call themselves African Jamaicans, now do they?
They do not.
They don't.
Jamaican.
The Haitians don't call themselves African Haitians, now do they?
Haitian.
No, they don't. The Puerto Ricans don't call themselves African Puerto Ricans, do they?
Puerto Rican.
There you go.
Nope.
Exactly. So why should we call ourselves African Americans? I don't have a problem with calling myself Black American or
It just-
foundational Black
I
American.
think it's a label problem.
It is. It really is. It really is. It is. It's a really big deal.
But look how many times they done changed our labels, y'all. Nigga, Negro, Negra,
Yeah.
colored,
We have all
Black,
those names.
African American. We don't have so many names. We probably confused. We probably don't know what to call ourselves.
Exactly.
We probably don't.
Exactly.
But
I
if
would love to hear some other opinions from some other viewers who's listening now, because I'm really concerned about other people's opinion, what they think about what's really going on.
Absolutely.
Not just the topic itself.
Right.
Any advice they could give or present to us to educate us even further on some things. 'Cause
Okay.
I'm always intrigued by y'all's show, what you talk about.
Good,
'Cause
thank
like I
you.
said, even though I sometimes I don't always respond, I be listening.
Right.
And I'm gaining that knowledge, man. And I'm thinking, I know we ain't the only one who's thinking about this.
Absolutely. That's why this show was
and if
produced.
anybody is out there in that radio land listening, hear my voice your opinion. Help each other out, because we need to move forward and advance and enhance
And quickly.
educationally, spiritually, and quickly.
I agree with you,
Most
Mike.
definitely.
I agree with you, Mike.
Yeah,
but-
man.
Well, you
but-
dropped some good juice there,
Oh,
brother.
yeah, man. We thank you for the call, Mike. Call anytime.
No, ain't no
Absolutely.
problem.
Anytime.
And tell a friend, pass the pot.
Debate.
Pass the link. When I send you the link, pass the link on. Tell a friend that this is what we do. We're trying to get some answers for us all as a whole.
Oh yeah, so that's why I was telling Kim, and I said, just like y'all said, I knew y'all joke when I was talking about putting yourself on a billboard, because people should go out by seeing all this other stuff. They need to see y'all so they can get on there and check it out. 'Cause people are always intrigued and interested.
Absolutely.
When they see hashtags
We're working
and
on it.
everything.
Yeah, we're gonna look into that.
He's working on Park Graphics. He's
Yeah.
working on that right now.
Yes, indeed. We're working on that, so we're good.
All right. Well, I think we
Yeah,
have another
working on
call.
that.
Is Mike? Somebody's trying to call in?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But
Well, yeah, we will definitely enjoyed your conversation, your take on it. But good, like I said, this is a Mike show because everything you talked about, we talked about today, and
yeah,
like we said, that was a good
Okay.
topic to bring up, and you can see we can talk about it forever because it's still mind blowing.
oh yeah,
Mind blowing and mind
I ain't
boggling.
trying to make it my show, but I'm glad I can listen to y'all. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah, thank y'all, man. I really
Absolutely.
Thank y'all. I mean, thank you for sending the site so I can listen in now.
Okay.
So
We'll do going forward. Well, thank you for calling, bro.
ain't no problem. Love
All
y'all
right.
both.
Love you too. Bye bye. Have a good
All
night.
All right, bye bye.
Bye bye. Good
All right.
take, brother.
Hey man,
Very
that was cool right there. That was cool right there. So if anybody else, Nas, I love you calling, bro. You're still on. So you always drop jewels, Nas. Always.
Definitely.
So,
Co-host.
you already know, man. So call in, bro. But yeah, Mike brought some really good points, though.
Yeah.
He really did. He brought some really good points. So, and I'm glad he came up with the title for this show because it's a. There's so many different. Who is this? Yeah, this is Martin. Is this the nasty man?
Yeah.
Oh, what's up, man?
Hey, co-host. How you doing?
Hey.
Hey.
Queen. How about we call ourselves kings and queens? How about that?
That's even better.
Absolutely.
That's even better.
Absolutely.
Been plastered everywhere. I'm gonna address myself as the artist known as the king.
Hey, brother. Yeah, as usual, man. The floor is yours, man. What you got, Nas? I know you got something good.
When you were talking earlier, and this amazes me how the government can come up with money for everything. They can come up with money for everything. Wars that ain't got nothing to do with us, really.
Yep.
And he's sending billions and billions of dollars over there.
They always seem to put us last as usual. Well, we'll get back with you on the because reparations ain't nothing new. We've been discussing this for decades upon decades.
Exactly.
A century or two.
Yeah.
But it's the same old scenario because the people they don't take us serious on this.
Right.
They now if we kick up dust like everybody else does, then we'll get something. They'll get some act right.
Right.
The thing I think that we need to do, we need to put because like you all were discussing, we done had a bunch of tap dancing, balls.
Oh man.
People in the outhouse.
Yes.
Including Obama.
Oh yeah.
Clarence Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
This and that and the other. I ain't knocking Obama. He just kind of did some little suspect moves on me. But
Yeah.
As far as me, I was glad to see the visual of him in office.
Right.
But neither here nor there. But we need some politicians that's gonna crack the door open because that's the only way that these people gonna listen. But I'm trying to think like how can we get in? How can this subject constantly be on their mind? Because Jews, they don't play.
Right.
Theirs.
Oh no.
You see on every level. If like some of the crimes that happened like in Chicago or whatever, if this was Jewish people, they'd be like, no, we're not having this.
Right.
And that's my stance. We gotta get it together and let them folks know that we not this ain't to be taken lightly.
Right.
You compensated the Japanese, you compensated Hispanics, you compensate everybody, but the people you really need to be compensated.
Right. And again, that's why I asked Nash, why is that? Why we keep getting placed on the back burner? Because
we're not taken seriously. They look at us and like, yeah, okay. Because we were too forgiving. We ain't gonna forgive each other. As far as black people, we as far as black amongst each other, we'll do something to each other with the quickness before we do anything, and before we want to harm one hair on their head.
Thank you.
And that's what's
you
so
said
messed
that.
up.
You said that.
Our mentality is so messed up.
That crab in a barrel syndrome.
Yep. Yep. You said that.
We're so messed up in that area, and they look at us like little children. Yeah, y'all go and play now. Go ahead.
That's exactly it. You're right. I agree with you.
We not taking seriously because we're not taking it serious.
Ooh. Say it again for the people in the back, Naz.
I ain't got a megaphone, but the reason that they're not taking us seriously is because we not taking it seriously. And if we get compensation, let me play white devil's advocate for a minute. Are we going to invest?
A lot of
Are we going to invest to make our shit better?
Come on now.
Yeah, of
Are we going to
course.
do like they did Black Wall Street? Are we
No.
going to do that? Or are we going to buy Nikes?
You right. They gonna go to
make everybody
Jacobs.
else rich?
Right. They gonna go to Jacobs the Jewel and get them this big name tag that spell out their nickname. Then they go get these big old rocks in their ears, and then they go get them 2 or 3 Maybachs. Yeah, they go invest in stuff like that. Yeah, of course.
So you gonna put your money? You know, I'm not saying you. I'm saying us as a whole.
Right.
We gonna put our money in Cadillac Escalade. We gonna make they shit bigger.
Right. We gonna make their
You know
pockets
what?
fatter than money we've been fighting for years. Yeah, of course.
You know what? I call those nigga trinkets. I call those nigga trinkets. That's exactly what they are.
Because I know, it'll be a handful, more than a handful, that will put their money back so we can make our own thing bigger.
I know I would.
It'll be a lot of us to do it, but the majority will be at like she just said. They'll be at Jacob the Jeweler, Nike, Foot Locker. It'll be just like that skit on Dave Chappelle.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And shout out to my sisters. We gonna run and get the longest weave we can find. We gonna go get us 2 or 3 pair of red. But my sisters, we need to do better as well.
Yeah.
We need to do better as well.
And that's another thing. Even if we do get it, what we gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point.
Except jack it off, mess it up.
It would be amazing. It would be amazing if we could produce another Black Wall Street.
Oh yeah.
That would be a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
No doubt.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Every state could have one, or 2 or 3,
Yeah.
if they invested right.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's another thing. As us, we gotta learn how to invest.
Oh yeah.
Keep out some of what they doing.
Yeah. Ear hustle.
You can learn a lot from a dummy.
Oh yeah. Ear hustle. I ear hustle all the time. Ear hustle. That's all you gotta do.
From a dummy. You'd be surprised.
Speaking of, that's how I got to my career. Just listen to them talk. Be like, okay, what she do? So she did that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Ear hustle.
And then she reapplied. Okay, I'm gonna do that same thing.
Yeah. Ear hustle. Ear hustle.
You do. Because they not going to tell you.
Of course not.
No, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And here's another novel idea that might not go over too well. Pick up a book.
Oh.
A what? What's that?
Read.
Oh.
What's a book?
Oh.
What is that?
Read.
Oh. Come on now. Come on now.
Not a whole book. A whole book? Oh, you mean Right On Magazine? Do they still make Right On Magazine?
No. We ain't talking about Miss June. We're talking about actually picking up a book on some of these subjects and do research. You know what I'm saying?
They'll pick it up if Cardi B is on the front of it.
Oh, yeah.
If they said tomorrow, okay, black folks, y'all been begging long enough. I know y'all don't want no more of this Popeye's chicken coupon. Here.
And that's exactly what and they take it too. They be so happy. A lot of them would be so happy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be.
A lot of them would be cool with an apology. A lot of them be cool with a crumbs. Like, oh, we'll give you a year's supply of Popeyes. We'll give you a coupon for Foot Locker. A lot of them be cool with it.
I know it.
And you think they wouldn't recognize that is an ultimate insult?
They wouldn't care.
That's an insult.
A lot of them wouldn't care.
That's an insult to our ancestors.
Like I said, see,
Exactly.
like I said, they would take those nigga trinkets over anything.
Yeah.
They would take those over
I
anything.
don't want no damn. Me myself, I can give less than 2 fucks about a damn apology.
Come on now.
Excuse my language.
No, you're right.
You're
You're
right.
right.
No apology.
It's far beyond.
Apologize and shit.
For years.
they've been doing it for so long.
Yes.
The apologies, they ain't even sincere no more.
No.
I mean, well, they were never sincere.
Of course not.
The acting is just so phony now.
Come on now.
We're really sorry.
Right.
Wink, wink,
Right.
nudge, nudge. Yeah.
They've been apologizing. Well, I mean, before they apologized before Bill Clinton with the whole syphilis thing. But they've been apologizing as far as I can remember. When Bill Clinton did the little apology for, oh, y'all, we sorry we injected y'all with syphilis and all that. They've been apologizing ever since. Every damn time I turn around. Oh, we're sorry we shot up another black man 50 times, but he was reaching for something.
Yeah.
That's all we, and we accept it. And we just so numb to they bullshit that we just, okay. Yeah, the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, step and fetch it.
We'll take it, son.
Step and fetch it.
Whatever crumbs, they cut the crumbs in half if we take it.
Yep, exactly. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
So,
And is that because we've been beat down so long that we think that's the best we can do?
Well, it's like this here. I'll go ahead and answer that one. It's like this here.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, now it's kind of like when you're in a bad marriage with somebody. Let's say that let's say that you're a man in a bad marriage with a woman, and this woman is constantly browbeating this man. He's gonna walk around town with his head down. That's exactly what and then that's exactly the way it is with black people here in America. We've been so browbeaten that we don't know how to look up, and that's part of the problem. So that's pretty much it right there. We're just in a bad abusive relationship.
So you just don't deserve you don't think you deserve
Yeah.
nothing
There
good.
you go.
Nothing good. Nothing at all.
I compare America to O.J. Simpson in that regard, and we Nicole Brown in that regard. And if white people can't understand what racism is, I'll hit them with that. Usually, I say America is O.J. Simpson, and we as black people are Nicole Brown Simpson in this situation. So you figure.
Come on, yeah. You figured it out.
They get a little mad at me when I say that.
Of course.
So
why would they get mad? Because it's reality?
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I was hearing you all discussing earlier about the pulling ourselves up by a bootstrap.
We don't have any
Everybody
boots.
else has done it. Why come you can't do it?
We don't have
y'all
any
keep
boots.
hanging us from the bootstrap.
Come on.
Y'all got the bootstrap is in a noose.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a good way of putting it. That's a good way of putting it.
How we gonna pull ourselves up by a bootstrap when you keep on putting a bootstrap around our neck to hang us? Every time you turn around, we try to do something, they knocking it. Just like Wall Street, people had their own. They were self-reliant. They didn't have to depend on nobody.
Yep. That's exactly it.
And what happened?
They burned it down to the ground.
Burnt it down. Bombed it up.
Yeah.
Dropped the bomb
Exactly.
on it.
So that's what I'm saying. We get our own thing together. Man, oh my God, they I don't know. They probably couldn't take it. They want to keep black people dependent on them.
That's exactly it.
Give us this, give us that, give us this, because they know if we actually get something going with this reparation thing, we won't need them for anything ever.
And that's the problem.
That's the problem.
And we really don't now.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
It's what's that?
Because we've carried ourselves and done stuff for ourselves so long, we don't need them right now. So if we get reparation, we definitely won't need them, and that's what they're scared of.
That's exactly it. That's
and
exactly
they
it.
need us to need them.
Yeah.
Good point. That's a real good point.
You hear what I said, Ray? Let me say it again.
Right.
They need us to need them.
Ooh,
Right.
They're
good
dependent
point.
on us. Yeah.
That's a real good point right there.
Very good point.
That's a really good point right there. That sums
Did
it
I
all
get
up.
free on that one?
Yes,
Oh
you
man,
did.
yeah. You struck a nerve with that
I
one,
would
bro.
say knocked it out the park.
Oh man, that's out of there.
Yeah.
That was a grand slam right there.
Wow.
Just like I always say, white people need racism. They need black people.
Yeah.
if we not dependent on them, they sink to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason why we shouldn't have these reparations things talk already sealed and done already.
I agree. That's 100.
They can't give it to us. They can't. They have a meeting, I'm sure, at least once a month about reparations. Somebody will bring it up at the meeting in the White somewhere on Capitol Hill. No, we can't do that for them. That's no.
You're right.
We sure can't. Hell no.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Okay, next on the docket, reparations. Put it at the end of the docket.
Put it in the docket. Yep. We'll discuss it next week.
We'll discuss it next week. We don't ran out of time. We don't ran out of time this week. We'll discuss it next week.
We'll discuss it next week. We ain't got time for it.
On to a more important subject, the spotted tree frog. We're going to have to save
Yep.
They are becoming extinct.
They're becoming extinct. We have to save the tree frogs.
What's next on our agenda?
Okay. The LBG2 don't want you to say gay in public. Yes, we gotta make that important right now. Yeah.
We can't be talking about black people and reparations. That's
yeah.
Oh no, man.
That's oxymoron. Yeah, that's oxymoron. Yeah. Yeah, it could be a touchy subject for everyone. You never know.
Well, you
never know.
To be honest with you, I'm
reason.
surprised because the last time we talked about something like this, it started messing with the feed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they did. Yeah,
yeah, they sure did.
It was pop locking all on that screen.
Oh my God, man! It was going in and out, and so far we've been on here for almost 2 hours, and no drops,
perfect.
No
Yeah,
drops,
it's been perfect.
none.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, maybe they saying, oh, they talking about that. Well, let them get it out their system. We're not going to do nothing about it anyway.
That's exactly what they're saying.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That's sad.
You can talk about it, but we're damn sure not going to do anything about it.
Yep.
I think you've answered this question for me before now, but let me ask you, by you being a serviceman, how does it make you feel that you're not getting anything from the service that you gave to this country where your ancestors was promised reparations?
Aside from the fact feeling like lower than a pregnant ant.
Oh my God! Now that's mighty low.
That's low.
You can't get no more lower than
You
that,
sure cannot.
But, unless you down there with Lucifer then, and I ain't trying to do that. But yeah, that's a very, very jacked up situation that you fight for this, fight for their country, and then and this thing comes up about reparations, you would think they'd be like, okay, let's get this handled for the ones who fought then, at least for them. No.
Wow.
So, and I've done my little research on everybody who's getting compensation and restitution and reparations. When the Japanese blew up Pearl Harbor and they had these concentration camps, they were getting reparations after all that was settled, all that was situated. Everybody. After the Holocaust.
All the Jews. Right away. It wasn't no studies done.
Yeah,
there wasn't no.
Like,
exactly. It was right away.
Like
And that's why I asked, how did theirs start immediately? And here we are over 100 years later, still getting studies done, and we're going to quote unquote talk about it. Why is ours on delay?
Because there wasn't black people involved. That's why.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, all you gotta do is look in the mirror.
There you go. Look in the mirror.
That's crazy.
And I could do both of y'all. And I can do y'all better. I can do y'all one better when it comes down to reparations. A lot of people don't know this, but the slave owners were compensated whenever slavery was over. They got reparations when the slavery was over.
So they got paid for our labor.
They got paid for the loss of their property.
When slavery was over, because they had nobody to tend to the fields.
So
they got
lost
paid
their
for
property.
that.
They got lost their property.
Wow.
Their profits, and their what were we called back then? Their inventory. I guess.
Yeah, the inventory. Yeah, they lost their property.
Yeah, lost the property and inventory.
Yep.
So, yeah.
They got compensated for that. A lot of people don't know that.
Lord have
Got
mercy.
compensation. Yeah, everybody. That's what I'm saying. We're like and even when it comes to just basic stuff, you know what I'm saying? I ain't even talking about reparations. We're last on the totem pole.
Always.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah, they'll save a 15-year-old dog with one leg that's blind that'll be dead probably by the end of the week before they try to help the black person.
Very true.
I mean, and then if they do help you, like, you know what I'm saying, they'll give you a little, they'll like if you go into a food bank or something, they'll give you the meat that's probably expired about 10 years ago. Here, have it.
Yep, that's true.
So it's like I said, I hope I'm wrong, but the only thing I see is for some real politicians that look like us to get in there. But the Trump crew, the Republican Party, is making sure that in the end, when you got brothers on the Republican side, I don't know. It's just like both sides. They be talking that side of their neck to me.
Oh yeah, you know that.
I don't know.
You already know that.
I think, honestly, I really think the Democratic Party is about to blow up.
They are, because
it's about to just kaboom.
Well, I tell you what, say that for the next show. Say that for the next show.
It's gone.
That's a good topic too.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic right there, because I got a whole lot to say about that right there. So that's a whole other topic.
Talk about politics.
Yeah,
We
buddy.
talk about politics.
Yeah, but the politics, man. We talked about politics a while back, so yeah.
Yeah, well, you put that on there, politics.
Yep, there you go. The politics. We'll talk about that on another show. But anyway, Nas, as usual, man, we appreciate you calling in and dropping them jewels, man.
Absolutely.
All right. I appreciate you all. Love your show. I'm a fan, groupie, whatever you want to call it.
Your co-host, co-host.
Yeah. Co-host with the mouth.
Yes,
Already,
sir.
Already. And as usual, man, as long as we got this show,
right,
as usual, once we got this show, you got a platform, man.
Yes,
you can talk about what you want to talk about.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. It's all love.
Hey, and check it out. We'll be there next weekend.
Shh, it's a secret.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We'll be there next weekend.
Yeah, I'm child free next weekend, so there you go.
Cool. That's what's up.
Yeah.
That was up.
What's up, man? Okay, well, let me know when y'all through.
All right, then.
All right, then. Peace out.
All right, later.
Have a good night.
Later.
Bye. Wow. Good show, Mike.
Man.
Mike, it's my show. Yeah, it's your show, bro.
Yeah, it's your show, man. It's your show. Hey.
But like I said at the beginning of the show, we can continue to talk about this. We in what, 2 hours now?
Yeah, a little over 2 hours right now.
Still no real rhyme or reason of why.
Yeah, there's no rhyme. Because there is no reason why. See, the only reason they're going to use is a white and I'm say so reason.
That's
so
the
only
disgusting
reason.
Because it's like Nas said, and just like I said, others get it lickety split, and here we are years later, steady, not getting anything, nothing.
Right.
Well, to be continued.
This is going to be a part 2, maybe a part 3 and 4.
Yeah.
We can talk about this all day long, man. Like you said.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this was a really good show, man. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up.
All right.
Yeah, buddy. But this was a really good conversation, man. I really enjoyed it.
Me too. I enjoy all the shows.
I enjoy all the shows,
especially
too,
when people come to get their feedback and their opinions. I love that.
Yeah, I love that myself, man.
But like always, ladies and gentlemen, please tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit the notification button. Please subscribe.
Oh yeah, do all that. Do all those things. And I guess, we'll think of another subject if we don't come back to this one. More likely, we'll probably come back to this one. But
they can be talked about for days.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah. But we'll talk about the racial wealth gap a little bit deeper in the next show. So we'll talk about that. So
All right.
well, that's it, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up. And as
Are we doing a show? Let me before we say this. We're doing a show because next Sunday is Mother's Day.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So will we
Next
be on the
Sunday is Mother's
road, or
Day.
are we gonna try to do one from Oklahoma?
Let's do one. I'll tell you what. We're gonna do a Saturday show, y'all. We'll do a special Mother's Day show. Let's put it like that. Yeah, we'll do a special Mother's Day show, just strictly for the mothers.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that. So, yeah, we'll do that. So,
Well, all right, sir.
all right then. So, we out of here, y'all. I'm Reggio,
And I am Mimi the Lady.
and we out.
Bye.